Let's start off by answering the question, what is MonoTouch.Dialog? Well, simply put, it is a framework for creating user interfaces in MonoTouch. And the idea here is to make it very easy for you to create user interfaces using some conventions and a relatively simple API. As we've been working through the previous modules here, we've seen how to create user interfaces for our iPhone or iOS applications, and it's not all that difficult, but there is a lot of tedium, especially when you're working with table views. So MonoTouch.Dialog is a control and a set of APIs that work against that control or that controller that inherits from table view, and it allows you to sidestep some of the formality of creating the cells and the things inside the cells, and really allows you to express what you want to create in a UI in a much simpler language, in a much simpler way than the standard way of developing in iOS. Now, MonoTouch.Dialog supports a large number of controls. If you look here at this screenshot, you can see these are just some of the controls that are built right into the framework. You can see there's things like your basic string control. We've got a Boolean, which shows up as that on-off switch. A checkbox element. You've got that slider, radio buttons, some entry. You can see that you can put in regular text or password text, date and time, and if you click that, you would see a date time picker. And you can have badges, so you can have images in there that you could click, and even an email like message element. And there's even more of these, and you can create your own controls. So this is a quick way to be able to add some functionality, add a nice user interface to your application without having to go and work with each one of these controls. Instead, you're just going to programmatically specify what kind of data that you have or what kind of control that you want. Now, there's a large number of features. We're not going to cover everything in this module, but I do want to go over all of what MonoTouch.Dialog has so that you can research some of this on your own, some of the things that we can't cover in the limited time that we have here. One of the major features that I like is the pull to refresh. This is very nice. It's built right in. You have the ability to hook up to an event here, and so that when a user pulls down on a table view, it'll refresh that data. So this is something that a lot of applications use today, and it's built right in here. The other one is search. You have built-in search functionality, so you can add that very easily to any kind of applications you create with MonoTouch.Dialog. The next one, JSON. This is very exciting. Fairly complex. We're not going to get to this in this module, but you can basically load up an entire UI by specifying it in JSON, and that really gives you the capability to even stream your UI over the network, over the internet, and you can dynamically build your entire UI if you wanted to and change that. So if you think about the usage of this, you could really have your UI for your application not defined in the application itself. Instead, you're sending some dynamic tables that you're creating from JSON data. It supports background image loading so that you can load up images so you don't have to wait for those images, and you can get an event when those are loaded. And it's very extendable. If there's a control that doesn't exist in an element, you can create that element and plug it right into the framework very easily.